Hello viewers and welcome to the final episode of Mechanics Brewery for the season, in which I review the various homebrew MECHs made by the Lancer community, and in this episode, Honeybee, from Greenhouse Emissaries, by Carigna. First, whoever has a melissophobia or fear of bee, you can just skip the history of Honeybee to this point in the video or just check the description below for the link to skip it. Anyway, continue. Honeybee is a part of the Apis genus in the bee clade that was originally native to Eurasia but has since spread to 4 other continents by humanity. They are known for making huge hives out of wax, and of course, production and storage of honey, which get them eaten and exploited by just about everyone else. Fun fact, as its name implied, not all bees produce honey, in fact, most don't. Within a hive, the honeybee has a caste system to maximize the production of honey and growth of the population, with the queen responsible for the latter, and the worker working for the former as well as the protection of the hive. Named after the insect, honeybee is a drone carrier that can call upon an army of flyers to protect itself or anyone it deemed precious. But first, let's take a look at Greenhouse Emissaries. Greenhouse Emissaries is a company originally specialized in developing comp/con for autonomous plantation mech, but eventually made a push on developing semi-autonomous combat mech with integrated artificial intelligence. Most of their MECHs are highly experimental, that's kinda almost every single homebrew company I have reviewed so far really, but they still work quite well as stable and powerful frames, mostly in striker or support roles. In the backroom of the company, NHP are constantly being developed and mutated to create new and more powerful strains of NHP. No breakout or freak accident has happened in the company yet, but with enough money and threat, silence can be bought. So, here's where I would talk about core bonuses provided by the company but let's just move on. So, looking at the honeybee, it has low health, no armor, average evasion, and high E defense. It's decently fast while being standard sized, has a nice heat cap, but its repair cap is a bit on the low side. Finally, it has an excellent sensor range and nice tech attack bonus. As for its traits, it has 2 of them. First, aerial stabilization. Honeybee can hover when it moves. It's a bee, it should be able to do this. Second, strength in numbers. Any drone deployed by Honeybee has soft cover when being right next to an ally. To say the least, Honeybee is not going to have any problem with the terrain, and its army is going to be rather tough to crack. Onto its weapon mount, Honeybee has a flex, along with a staggering 8 base system point. As for its core system, Honeybee has Hive Mind, which as a passive, for once per round, let you spend a limited charge to launch a single worker drone as a free action to any point within your sensor range. The worker drone can move independently on your turn, and can be recalled with a quick action. You could deploy up to a maximum of 3 drones in the field and could also recall any of them at any time. Once a drone is deployed, you gain the BULWARK reaction, which for once per round per drone, as a reaction to an ally close to the drone being hit by an attack. Said ally gains resistance to the damage but the worker drone takes half of said damage before armor or resistance. You may spend 1 repair per drone to reprint them if they are destroyed. Now, for the core power, Honeybee can activate harmonious combination of the apiary with Hive Mind. Upon activation with a quick tech action, the worker drones gain a massive boost. First, the range for BULWARK reaction is increased to threat 3, then the worker drones gain +5 health and +1 armor, and the Spitfire module, which is basically a gun. The first time an enemy moves or starts their turn close to a worker drone, they get shot for 3 energy damage. This also happens if an enemy strikes a drone with an attack while being within threat 3 of it. To put the core power shortly, Honeybee has a fucking army and it's not afraid to use it. Its drones can both protect and attack, but most importantly, they are tough as all hell. So don't worry about them taking hits, because the hits they take are those that can't hit you. As for the rest of the license, you get IMPALER BARB and NURSERY cache in the first section. IMPALER BARB. Just stick someone onto the ground. Long threat, high damage, but it has a loading tag. On hit, if the target fails an agility save, they are immobilized until the end of their next turn. Basically, you could say this is the melee, heatless, version of IMPALER nailgun with higher damage. It's a nice thing to have, along with all the benefits of being a main melee weapon. NURSERY cache, patience brings about rewards. With a quick tech action, you can spend a limited charge to deploy an egg-like cache within sensor range and line of sight. This cache has resistance to all damage, and basically does nothing besides sitting around until the start of your next turn, which it then hatches a larvae drone. During your turn, the larvae drone can spit out sticky jelly in a cone 3 radius. Any mech caught within the area must pass an agility save or become slowed until the end of its next turn, and the area also becomes a difficult terrain because of all the stickiness. Characters slowed in this way must then pass another agility save at the start of their turn to not become immobilized until the end of their next turn. The nursery cache is definitely going to give anyone close to it a rather sticky situation, so don't stand too close to it yourself. Aside from Honeybee frame itself, you get tracker pheromones and guard drone in the second section. Tracker pheromones, put a bug in your system. It gives 2 additional options for invade. First, prime them, inject the target with a virus packet that, the very next time they take any heat, the virus gives the target 1d6 AP energy damage. Second, expose them, force the target to pass a system save or they will be unable to benefit from cover, invisibility, or hidden, until the end of their next turn. This is gonna be very useful on just about any NPC type, but it will hit the invisible one extra hard. Guard drone, like to give death cuddle. With a quick action, you can deploy the guard drone to any point within your sensor range and gain a new reaction called Colony Ire. For once per round as a reaction, when an enemy moves close to the drone, the enemy must pass an engineering save or the drone will latch onto their face and move with them, also gaining soft cover in the process. When the guard drone is sitting on them, the enemy unit will be impaired, slowed, and take 1 heat at the end of their turn. The guard drone can be removed with a full action spent on passing another engineering save, which it then lands on a nearby space upon success. If you ever need a target to get held back until they are dead, guard drone can do the job for you. In the final section, you get HONEYPOT Backup OS and EMPRESS Class AI. HONEYPOT Backup OS, free recycle plant for your drone. At the end of a scene, you could use limited charge from the system to repair your destroyed drone or Nexus type weapon instead of your repair. Basically, you are exchanging some system points for more repair exclusively for your drone and Nexus only. If you think you don't have enough, this could be useful. And finally, EMPRESS Class AI, Protect the Queen. Your mech gains AI property and the EMPRESS defensive system, which, with a quick action and 2 heat, you can expend a limited charge to get all allied drones within burst 2 of you to get 5 over shield. You also get the Royal Decree reaction which can only be used if the drones around you still have over shield. For once per round as a reaction, when you get hit by an attack, roll a d6. If the dice gives equal or more than 4, the closest drone of your choice affected by the system takes full damage of the hit for you, before armor or resistance. Only drones with overshield gained from the system can be used for this reaction. With this AI calling out to your swarm, harm will not come to your way at all. As a conclusion, Honeybee is a highly mobile drone carrier that can quickly produce an army to both safeguard and assault. Its license is primarily aimed at giving more variety of drones or utility for drones, with a rather big focus on slowing or immobilizing the hostile force. With its massive system points, you can easily sidegrade Honeybee into other roles as even the drones provided by its passive is quite impressive, but playing its strength to its fullness by harvesting the entire field with your swarm, and your opponent will have nowhere to run.